Vladimir. Hi, Nicolas.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm very thrilled to be here today. And this is your third solo exhibition with Nicolas Pol,
Yes.
Vladimir. And I would like to know, what do you like about his work? What thrills you about his work?
Well, basically, the way I look at art today is just based on my emotion. When I see a painting, I think a really good painting for me speaks for itself. And when I met Nicolas for the first time and I went to the studio, I was completely blown away of how incredibly powerful, dynamic, strong his pieces were. I mean, I love the way they can, they deliver so many messages, and I love the way he uses. I mean, there's so many layers in his works, and they tell so many stories. And I like the fact that they can be very tricky to the viewer, because you can, at first think that his paintings are very bloody, violent, and strong, and then when you get a close look at them, you actually see that they're very funny and irony and full of hope. And it's the type of work that actually, I would put in my house, and I think that in 50 years, every time I'm going to look at it, I'm going to learn something and see something else, because there's so much going on in his work that you can't see everything on the first time. You get your first impression, but as you go, the impression grows, the impression changes, and every time you look at them, you learn something more about Nicolas.
What do you think of the new zeitgeist? It's everything is very fast, and it's about the future. It's a very violent time. How do you see that?
You mean
in the art scene? Yeah, also picturing in the art scene.
I try not I try not to think about it that much. Not to try to analyze like where I'm at and where exactly how's the situation.
I think it's a trap that artists can fall into. I think that when you're so talented like Nicolas, I think that today, the art world has become a business that goes very fast. And when you say very fast, it can go very fast in one way and very fast the other way around. And I think that it's very good to take your time and to be patient and to let things happen and not to rush anything, and to let yourself, your talent, and your maturity grow in a healthy manner. And I think that for a guy like Nicolas to grow in this environment is the best way for him to, I'm talking for him, to express himself in the best possible way, because all he has to think of and all he wants to think of it's his art, and he doesn't want to think about the rest what the world is going to do and what gallery and it's about his paintings, what he wants to do,
his own world, right?
His world, and do it in the best environment.
Is it easy to be an artist?
It's not easy at all. No, it's easier for me because I've been, safe and a bit lucky, but it's really hard. You really have tremendous risks. Not only, as family life, or the fact that you're living in the margin. It's a very, very complex case for the brain, I think.
Is it very important for you what other people think of your work?
I don't think so. But you're always very, very afraid of what you do. It's very hard. Anything you do, that if you've always failed, it's terrible. But it's what keeps you, trying. Sometimes you wake up and you can write words and you see things. Other times you just start with walking on the canvas and ill-treating, material. But it usually comes for me with words and colors, like moods,
Vladimir, you're coming from a fashion background, from your family, artist, film, fashion, photography. Have you ever considered becoming a designer or stylist?
No.
No?
No. I think maybe it's stylist.
No, I don't know.
No. I grew up. No, I wanted to work in the movie industry. My grandfather, my great-grandfather, my uncle, they were all in the movie industry. So I grew up in this environment. My mom and dad were in the fashion industry, but I've always had an interest for it and a lot of love and respect for it, but it has never been something that I felt comfortable pursuing when I was growing older. I was always more interested in working closely with artistic people, but also I knew that I didn't have the talent myself to create anything like Nicolas does, or like designer can do, or like, you know, a filmmaker, director, musician can do. But I wanted to be in this environment, and I worked in the film business, and I was very disappointed by the fact that it was so political and so much about the money and not too much about the talent of. And then I've always had an interest in art, and I had friends, you know, younger, older, painting, taking photography, and I decided to start working with them, and then it's just a revelation for me when I started doing it, and I just kept on going with my inner feelings.
Vladimir, how is the difference between the art scene in Europe and the US?
Europe is very broad, I think. They're interested in new things and new artists and new talent and open-minded to what's happening, and good energy where you can have an exhibition and have a very large crowd and wide crowd of people coming. New York is probably the most dynamic and interesting and energetic city in the world. You know, the level of creativity and interest is very, very strong. Then other cities in Europe are a lot more smaller, where it can be more tricky and a bit more, not difficult, but I think people are not as open-minded and creative as they are in America. But Europe can be very inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, Europe, I think, you know, our culture, our history, the people, the fact that there's so many people from so many different cities mixing together all the time and working together now is.
I'm sure what
we carry on is very strong.
Very French. You know?
We're French products. At the end, you know, we are a product of France.
Yeah.
Every time we do something with Nicolas, we try to do better than we've done before, and we try to learn from past experiences, to grow and to, you know, to reach the next step. And I think that we're in the moment of tonight's exhibition. I think you know, there's been a lot of work achieved in the last 6-7 months since the last show we've done. I think it's good to take a bit of time to rest and to think quietly and to, you know, think of all what we've learned so far. And we're going to do another show very soon somewhere else. We'll see in the next couple of weeks probably. Maybe something in Europe, maybe something in Asia. We'd like to do a book, a very serious book of Nicolas's work from the start until today, because for every single show we've done a small retrospective catalogue, I'll call them. I think that now, you know, he's been working for 15 years, maybe more. There's a very large body of work that I think we should make sure that we all integrate into Nicolas's story, and we're going to be working on this in the next few months and put a very strong book together. We have options. We have museums interested in doing shows with us. We're going to look at all those options and then see what's best and what's most interesting and fun for him and us to do together.
I like to pick up, you know, like old disappeared words, you know, or sometimes even some, you know, Atavus won't be a word that you hear a lot. So it's a like heavy, you know, falsely savant way to say that something's wrong with us.
So merci for the interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.